Several 100,000 people in the United States can sigh a breath of relief now, well, at least for now, because a program that protects the undocumented immigrants who were brought to the country as children will be allowed to continue to serve their needs indefinitely until it's challenged again. It's called the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, known as DACA, and it was put on the chopping block by the Trump administration. Then on Thursday, the Supreme Court ruled to keep it going. I'm joined by Catherine Seitz, the legal director for the Immigration Institute of the Bay Area, to talk about that decision. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So, Catherine, how many people in our country right now can rest assured for now that they will have this legal protection?
The estimates are somewhere between 700,000 and 800,000 DACA recipients will now be able to renew their work permit and know that it's not going to end anytime soon.
And can you tell me more about what sort of protection DACA provides and who qualifies?
Yeah, DACA gets somebody a work permit. It's not a path to a green card or citizenship, unfortunately, but it gives people a work permit, which gives them the ability to get a job and support themselves, support their family, support themselves while they're going to school, and gives them sort of the peace of mind that they're not immediately facing deportation all the time. And then who qualifies it's young people. You had to have come here when you were under 16, and you had to have come before June 15th of 2007. And then you had to have been under 31 still on June 15th of 2012. And you would had to have either been graduated from high school or honorably discharged from the military or still in the military or still in school in order to qualify.
And this allows them to go to school as well and get their driver's license and basically be a functioning citizen of our society, right?
Exactly. It makes it much easier to function in society if you have a work permit, a social security number, a driver's license, all those things that many of us who are born here just take for granted.
And so why is it so crucial for them to have a chance at not only continuing life in the U.S., but to have access to those protections?
Because they've relied on those work permits and they've built their lives up. They've gone to school, they've gotten jobs. They estimate that some 27,000 DACA recipients are working in the healthcare industry. So we want them to be still doing those jobs right now. And so it's really important that they be able to keep doing that and keep supporting themselves and their family. And this is really the only home that they've ever known. They've grown up here just like an American citizen has.
And that's my understanding about this controversy, is that the parents brought them here. It's through no fault of their own that they ended up growing up here undocumented and then formed their lives, possibly even not even speaking the language of their parents from their native countries.
Right. I think many DACA recipients are bilingual, which is a really good skill that they have. But yes, but many of them might not speak and certainly never went to school in their parents' native language. They're by and large English speakers, just practically native English speakers, really, because they were so young when they came here.
And language aside, if they were to be deported to that country, maybe they haven't even visited, it would be totally foreign, just as it would for any other American.
Exactly. It would be uprooting them from the life they've always known and going to a place where they don't, they've never been for most of them.
And so how tense were the last years knowing that the Trump administration was looking to end the program?
It was very tense. We've been very, very worried. The last few months have been particularly tense, knowing that this decision was coming. Here at IIBA, the Immigration Institute of the Bay Area, just since we started working remotely due to shelter in place, we've filed over 300 DACA renewals because we've been working feverishly to serve as many people as we can, as quickly as we can, to make sure that they had at least some time on their work permit before it expired.
So a lot of them make up the fabric here in the Bay Area as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of DACA recipients here in the Bay Area.
So what was your reaction to seeing Republican Chief Justice Roberts on board?
I was very pleasantly surprised. We needed, one of the conservative side to come over and join the DACA decision in order to win. I was just very pleasantly surprised today. I was completely prepared for a negative decision and very concerned and was not expecting this at all. So it was a really happy surprise. I was crying tears of relief this morning, just so happy for all of our clients.
Can DACA be challenged again in the future, and is there a more permanent proposal that you recommend instead?
Yes, DACA can be challenged in the future. The administration can just terminate it again, but give a more thorough reasoning this time. So the Supreme Court decision didn't say that it was unlawful for them to have terminated it. They just said they didn't give a good enough reason to terminate it, and they didn't consider everything. They didn't consider all the reliance that everybody put on the program in building their lives here. And so it can be challenged in the future, and we're very concerned about that. What we really need is the DREAM Act, or some version of the DREAM Act. The House passed a version of it last year, and now if the Senate were to pass it, it would provide permanent protection for these young people and really give them the stability that they need to move forward with their lives.
So in the meantime, they just have to keep holding their breath and waiting for that permanent solution.
Exactly, and keep renewing. Here at the Immigration Institute of the Bay Area, we're going to keep helping people renew their DACA as quickly as we can, and even hopefully this decision will allow people who have recently aged into eligibility to also apply, because you had to be 15 in order to apply, and so some people, like a lot of DACA recipients' younger siblings, have been left out. But now, maybe with this decision, they'll be able to submit an initial application.
So is there a point in which it expires and then they have to renew it? And during that time, can they then become targets by ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents?
Yes, there's always a danger if they let it lapse, or if it's terminated, that then they could be targeted for enforcement. Here at IIBA, we try to advise people to renew early, and so they don't have a gap. They're never at risk. They just always get their new work permit well before their first one expires. They come in 2-year increments.
Got it. All right. Well, thank you so much, Catherine Seitz, the legal director for the Immigration Institute of the Bay Area, in giving us some more insight on how exactly DACA works.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're watching Chronon, the Bay Area streaming news 24/7.